Hi everyone, it's Anna from Astral Tarot in Amsterdam, and this is a video response to Kelly Bear's top 5 decks I can't live without. So I want to say thank you to the tarot community on YouTube online because I learn a lot from you. So I wanted to start off with that. And then also, of course, I like to look at all the new shiny decks and all that stuff. I forgot to count my decks before starting this video, but I think I have around 25, so that's really not a lot compared to you guys. But in my book, that's a lot. And there are a few that I don't use and don't want anymore that I want to sell, you know. But I did pick out my top 5, and the type of decks, no, the question that Kelly Bear asked was top 5 decks you can't live without. Well, I think I can, you know, to be honest, we can all live without our tarot decks, right? It's just that we'd rather have them in our lives. No, it's not like that. It's just of course your favorite decks, because tarot is so personal and tarot is a mirror. I mean, much more personal can it get, right? It's just saying, yeah, the decks that I connect to most. And first I was like, okay, so the decks I can't live without, the decks I really need. My top 2 I have. Actually, it's 2 decks in the same, I can't choose. It's just, they are for me, they are meant to be in my life. Some people approach it as my top 5 I can't live without in 2019, for instance, but I'm like, well, that's another question. It's just, that would be the top 5 decks that I have right now for myself. And I'm trying to approach the question as the top 5 decks that I really want to keep in my life. I'm lucky to have quite a lot of vintage, first edition, out of print type of indie decks that are worth a lot, but I don't have the same connection to them as the decks that I picked out here. Although there is one indie deck and one, I think first edition, yeah, in the booklet it says first edition, vintage, or that edition is out of print. So I don't read with all of them all the time, during the entirety of the year, because especially one of them, in my opinion, it's very specific to the darker months. So, without further ado, my top 5 tarot decks that I cannot live without. Whew. It was kind of hard though, even with 23 decks. But okay, my first one I call my soul deck. And I have made this box for it with my favorite card on it. It opens up and you get the High Priestess, and I keep some sandalwood incense that I've had since I was 10 in there, so I'm not burning this anymore. It just lives here with my cards, and my cards smell so good now. Probably no surprise, the Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith. Or no surprise, it's like not very special to have this in your top 5. Perhaps in 2019 it still is special because people have like moved on to other types of Rider-Waite-Smiths, like the Dirty Pam and all that stuff. But for me, this is the one. This feels like the real thing. It has vintage colors. It feels vintage. The cardstock is amazing. This is a type of cardstock that I like. Don't give me Uzi. I mean, I have the Pagan Otherworlds, and I wish the cards were more like paper. They feel a little plasticky. Apart from that, amazing, amazing. But I'm just saying, like, I hear all the time in these videos, like, that linen and whatever cardstock is the best, and I'm just like, no, the Centennial edition of the Rider-Waite-Smith has the best cardstock. But maybe that's just me. Anyway, this feels so good. None of the cards are bent. I mean, I am a rifle shuffler, although I I do it like that, you know, like just the corners. Um, I have, I love Pixie's artwork, and I have um, taken off of every single of the 78 cards in the deck. I've taken off the copyright with some sanding paper, and then with a little drop of tea to tea stain it back to the right color, because of course inside it's white. And then I finished it off with a dot of Mod Podge to make it part of this. You make it like this satin finish that it is. The backs are beautiful as well. Yeah, I mean, this is my soul deck. Yes, I love it. I love it. And it's so beautiful. And this is the first edition of the Rider-Waite-Smith in a while, I think, that US Games came out with that was, you know, worthy of this artwork. Before that, they were just... My very first tarot deck was Rider-Waite-Smith. It was... some people like it, but it was the plaid backs with the really yellow yellows and the red reds and the blue blues and the big fat lines, and it was the yellow box one, the one that the only one I could get, really. I was so delighted when this came out. So yeah, my soul deck. Here we go. Then I have my second part of my soul deck. This deck, it's independently published. I have a backup copy. I also have a backup copy of the Centennial, by the way. This deck is why I started reading Marseille. Now, I'm just saying, that's just an accomplishment all by itself. And I call this the second part of my soul deck, because this deck is like, the Centennial deck is like the daytime, I would say. And then this deck, I don't know if you'll recognize it by the box that I made. It's the same kind of box with the same card. Is the nighttime deck. Yes, it's the Trionfi della Luna by Patrick Valenza, and it's the paradoxical edition. And I fell in love when I saw this one. I never fell in love so hard with a tarot deck, I think. I was like, wow, that's for me. Because I had seen the Trionfi della Luna, but this one with the black cards, I just, ugh. And it's a Marseille, traditional Marseille, but of course with a twist, and it's creepy and it's lovely, and I get it, you know. It's just, and the world too. I mean, she is such a beautiful lady. Yeah, I edged it blue, and I have a backup copy because I was like, okay, well, if something happens to this copy, I really do want another one. I really want to keep this deck, so it's definitely, you know, in my top 5, obviously. If I ever start using the other deck, I will edge it in black, because now it's a really blue deck, and I think black is a little more neutral. Yeah. So, love, 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 love that one. These two, you know, they have similar boxes, and yeah, they are my jam. Okay, so the next 3 are, oh, so hard though. I'm still kind of doubting, but everyone has that, I think. This is the Polka Tarot. It's not Marseille, it's Pip deck, because it's not arranged the same as in Marseille, but it is just beautiful. And it's also creepy, and it's these are umbilical cords. There's a light that comes off this deck in a way. It's very special. I didn't like the backs, so I backed them in apparently the thickest backing paper I could find, because it's like This is the chunkiest deck I have. And then I edged it in blood red and let the blood red come on the front of the cards a little bit. Yeah. This is just has such a voice of its own. And the artwork, I don't know, it's just very special. And it's also funny, kind of, like Patrick Valence's deck. Yeah, oh, which card do I want to show? I don't know. Okay, so maybe this one. The King of Swords. Yeah, yeah. I have, just like I did on a few cards of the Triunfo de la Luna, I have put little dots on the bottom of the cards that I couldn't remember if this was upright or this was upright, and then I was like, okay, well, let's just make it easy for myself. And it really doesn't mess with the artwork, as you can see. So, what do I want to show? Come on, just show one. Just show this one. I can relate to the creepy things. The next deck is the deck that I was talking about. Oh, by the way, this is the little pouch I made for my polka. Next deck I was talking about lives on the shelf half of the year. I really didn't think, to be honest, that this would be in my top 5. But it is. And I think I've made the right decision. It's the Wildwood. Yeah, not the Walnut, the Wildwood. And by Will Worthington, and yeah. So I have edged this one in dark green, dark brown. It's very foresty. It's, when I read with this deck, I really have to be in that mood where I just need a hug or something. So this, I wouldn't say this is a hug in a deck, but it does kind of feel like I'm diving into that forest with this deck. And I really have to be in that mood. Like today it's raining, and I'm feeling I could get a nice message from this deck because of that. Because I want to like close myself off a little bit. And then this deck helps me warm up somehow. Yeah, everyone has seen these pictures, I'm pretty sure. This is totally not my type of artwork, but it's really beautiful nonetheless. I think they could have done a whole lot of things better with this deck. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on it because it is my top 5, but that I really would hate to lose, you know? I really want to keep this deck because of that reason and that connection. And it's really for myself that I read with this. It's just that, I don't know, they're glossy, the backs aren't that amazing because of the copyright. The cardstock is oof. And the white borders, I don't know. But apart from that, it really is so beautiful. I don't think I could give good, accurate, helpful readings with this deck just because I'm so into, well, first and foremost, Rider-Waite-Smith, and then the numerology of Marseille as well. And then I combine those two, and that's the system that I made that's right for me. And that's how I give a lot of information to the querent. And then here, it's much more intuitive. This deck lives in a tin that I have decorated. Yeah. Next one. Oh, is that the last one already? Yeah. So the next deck is it was quite a surprise to me, actually. I got this deck this year. That's probably also why. I really need to study it, but I really want to study it, which is why I think it's in my top 5. I have other decks that I have better connections to, stronger connections to, but this edition is just so beautiful. And I really need to take the time to look at the artwork for it to make sense and for it to show me something. It's like with Rider-Waite-Smith, it's kind of like right there in your face kind of thing. And of course there's all these details and nuances, of course. Same with Marseille, you know, every little detail means something, has symbolism. But in this deck there's just so much going on. Every card has 5 different layers. Yeah, I really need to take the time to study it, but I want to, so I got this, yeah, a thought deck. Why not? Why not? This is a first edition, I think, because someone, please tell me, does this mean it's first edition? It starts at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Printed in Belgium. So it's a Thoth Greenie. This is not just an excuse to show off this beautiful find. No, it's really that I love it and I need to get to know it. Now these cards were brand new when I got them. They still had the cellophane on them. Just the backs are beautiful, and they have these green borders that makes every card in the deck just a little bit green, and honestly warms up the artwork. I'm telling you, this green hue that every card has really makes it deep and warms up the deck, because I feel that sometimes the deck is cold and unapproachable, but it works like a sigil deck, this deck. It's just so, and it's a pip deck. I really think it's really beautiful. It took me a while to see the beauty of Lady Frida Harris' artwork, but I don't like the keywords, to be honest. But I'm training my eyes, you know, I'm studying to get to know the deck, the artwork, and then my eye won't go towards the keyword anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's something special, you know? And I realized, well, now I have one of every system as well, you know, every big system that we know. I have a Rider-Waite-Smith, I have a Marseille, I have a Thoth. I think that's my top 5, yeah. But I do have an honorable mention. My Golden Rider, yeah. I had to include this one. I mean, put it in this video at least. Edge them. I might edge my greenie in the same color. Yeah, I think that would work. What do you think? You know, this video was a lot of fun. Thank you, Kelly Bear. I think that's it, right? Just let me know what you think, and maybe I'll do this again in 2020, and maybe this will all be the same, or it will be all different, but actually I think at least these 2 will still be in there. But we'll see. We will see. Thanks everyone. Bye. This was a lot of fun. the question itself is like super dramatic, right? But it's funny. It's like top 5 decks I can't live without. If I would lose one of these, I would stop living. Yeah, it is. Okay, so the next one was I'm wearing pajamas, man. I mean, I was walking the dog with my boyfriend, and it was so much rain. So I was like, okay, today's canceled. I'm going back in my pajama bottoms. So here we go. Yeah. Anyway, I got caught there. Yeah.